Hello everybody, today's video is of a visit to the huge Doki Doki Flea Market at Makuhari Messe in Chiba. It's held each year during Golden Week, so that's early May, and it operates over 3 days. Look at the size of it, it's massive. There's an 800 yen entry fee to get in, and usually there is a fee at the larger event spaces like these. They also have a handmade product section and a craft activities area, and I think I'm going to go ahead through those doors where those cars are for the car boots section. There are flea market stalls in the main hall as well, and right down the other end over there is where the handmade stuff is. But let's go to the car boots section and come back this way later. There's lots of shoes and clothing here, but my niche is Japanese traditional items like ceramics, folk art, woodwork, figurines, vintage or retro home decor, and home goods. Actually, I only came here to look around rather than to shop today. I just want to check out the event, but you never know, we might find something worth bringing home. Look at this belt buckle. I think it's a slice of agate. That's cool. Lots of random things here. There's some sake cups in the box. They look pretty nice. And then there's some fake plastic food, the sushi. This is beautiful marquetry. I wonder if it's made in Japan or meant to look like it's from France. The wooden beetle's kind of cool. Someone's selling all their funky Adidas. And look at that. Someone's bought a huge teddy. There it is. That looks like Grace Kelly with Audrey Hepburn. Lovely mirror. And now I'm in my happy place among the Taisho and early Showa period ceramics. Loving this one with the sparrow and bamboo. I picked that one up. And this is an interesting bottle opener. It looks like it's a rabbit shape. It's super heavy. It's definitely made of iron, probably Nambu Teki from Iwate Prefecture. I like the way it stands like that so you can display it. And this would be an Arita ware one, ceramic. Lots of toys. So if you want any of that, come to this flea market. There's a dish here with the bellflowers, the ceramic. That's quite a popular design. You see it quite often. Some swung vases, made in Japan ones, and random steering wheels here. And there's some Le Creuset, but look at that old pay phone. For some reason, it reminds me of going to school. Japan did produce its own amber glass in the 1970s, like brands like Hoya, Soga, Kamei, Aderia. These events can sometimes be a family outing with kids as well joining, so there's always food stalls like this. Wondered what this thing was, whether you're supposed to hang something from its mouth or arms. Not exactly sure what the creature even is. Flea markets are great like that. You just don't know what's going to be there. It's so different to antique fairs. I love cranes, so picked this up, but when I opened it, I realized it's for shuniku, the ink for hanko stamps. Would be a bit of a pain to clean out, so I left it. This is a carved letter opener by the Ainu, and I'm going to buy it and talk about it later in the haul. And here's a tea caddy, really nice, hammered copper on the outside. I'm going to pick this one up too. There's a pot holder made of iron under there. Oh look, it's a small tetsubin, iron kettle. You'd use it as a teapot. It has no strainer inside, but it doesn't look like it's been used. It's a stretchy tiger's eye bangle or bracelet. It's a good price because it's quite chunky. That looks part of the tobacco container and ashtray set. Just the one bookend. That was a reasonably priced stall, as is this one. Those are sweet. A lot of the items are wrapped up in cling film, but I like this booth. For the number of stalls there are at this flea market, there weren't that many that had old Japanese vintage, antiques, and this kind of artifacts, so I was happy to find this booth. Let's come down here and have a look at this lovely tea caddy. It's ceramic with cranes and it's made in Arita. I'm going to keep looking to see what else is around and then come back. I'm hoping that the price may be reduced towards the end of the market. The booth opposite has matcha jawang, matcha tea bowls, one for 500 yen or two for 900. I love the black raku, but it has a chip. Oh, I love this sake cup. I think it's a picture of Sakurajima, which is an island with an active volcano down in Kagoshima, Kyushu. A little tokoname-ware bud vase with plum blossoms, very sweet size. Here's some old bottle labels for alcohol, like sake. I can see this being cool to do some kind of decoupage, make a box, cover a notebook. That pinkish label underneath is for tamari soy sauce. Now we've gone back into the main arena. I love sukajan jackets, but maybe I'll feature that in another video sometime. A mixture of Asian objects, some Singaporean pewter. And here's a sake decanter in the shape of a fugu, pufferfish. It looks like there's a bit of a crack though. There's a pretty little plate. Maybe it's modern, but I kind of like the painting of the girl's profile. This ashtray may look Japanese, but this sort of pattern is actually from Thailand. And those googly eyes on the dojo on the plate on the right there. This is a gorgeous color glaze, useful for condiments. Now, I really like this plate, artisan made. Nothing was priced and the vendor wasn't around, so I came back later, but it was gone. There's a traditional Matsuri festival games area. Here's some vintage from Europe and the United States. Let's look at the Big Eyes planter from the 60s to 70s. These ones remind me of Balinese wood figurines. Some upholstery bits and bobs. Yes, they even sell cars. Now we're in the handmade section. There are some bouncy castles, and yes, those are what you think they are. Here are some fake plastic food, all handmade. They've gone next level here with the Kewpie doll immersed in cup noodles. Not many ceramics or crockery in the craft section actually. This one is on time sale at 1,000 yen a piece, which is pretty good. I couldn't work out whether I liked this one or not. And these mugs have Tokyo Sky Tree painted on them, which might make a good souvenir. I like these little pieces you can use as chopstick rests. They're fun. Not sure what this is, but it's impressive all the same. It's certainly an opportunity to buy something unique in the handmade section. These guys have an impact all lined up like this. They are kinoko, a type of yokai, so a supernatural being. Kinoko also means mushroom, but that's when it's written differently. This type of paper cutting art is called kiri-e, and it's a technique that was brought to Japan from China in the early 7th century by a Buddhist monk. These ones aren't that intricate, but sometimes they're super detailed, especially if they're of Buddhist or Shinto deities. We're back to vintage signage from the US, but they look in such good shape that I'm wondering if they're reproductions. This gentleman is an illustrator. He's retired, so travels and draws as a hobby. These are prints of his illustrations, and he has a whole bunch of postcards, so I picked up a couple of these. I'd love to see his illustrations in full size. Had no intention of buying anything today, but did end up with these items. This Taisho period small dish with sparrow and bamboo leaves. It has pine needles on the sides, on the back. I only bought one because the painting was noticeably lighter on the other dish. Now here it is at home and cleaned. Bamboo leaves are seen as a symbol of life itself. They also ward off evil or bad energy. And the matsuba pine needles are joined together at the base and they stay connected even when they fall off a tree. So it kind of represents a happy marriage. And the sparrow is thought of as the baby of a phoenix. So that's certainly auspicious. Here is the wood-carved bear letter opener. It's by our indigenous people who live up in Hokkaido called the Ainu, and that's a distinctive Ainu pattern. You may be familiar with the large bear carvings. They were souvenir pieces, as is this letter opener. I've never seen a bear motif letter opener, even in the gift shops up in Akanko where the Ainu still reside, but I have seen them with Ainu figures or some sort of tribal pattern carving at the top. So this was a fun find. Here is that copper tea caddy where it's been hammered. It's very pretty in the light. Let's take the lid off. Can you see some small scratches, the wear and tear, which happens with vintage products? Seems to always happen with these types of containers. But the inside is pretty clean. There's some marks, but nothing too offensive. I think there might be a tiny scratch up there too, which I didn't see in the lighting in the event hall. Still, it's really beautiful. And on the bottom here, it's marked Jundo, which is pure copper. I love the color of it. Here's that iron kettle. It says it's from Nambu Morioka, which is in Iwate Prefecture up in the Tohoku region. It's only 750 yen. Has no strainer inside. Let's have a closer look at it. So these little bumps are called arare, which means hailstones. There are some marks. I wonder if it's kind of oil or something. I haven't been able to take it off, but I don't mind. It's just from prolonged storage, and it shows it's aged. Here's a closer look at the lid. On the base, there's a sticker which certifies that this is genuine Nambu Tekki, Nambu ironware. Now we have this tea caddy, which is ceramic. It's 800 yen, but I actually got it for half price before closing. The kanji characters for Arita are on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side is a ceramic company. I still haven't figured out exactly who it is yet. Beautiful combination of the colors vermilion red and gold, which we use a lot traditionally in Japan. Looks even better now that it's washed. The white looks brighter, I feel. Look at the birds in flight. Aren't they gorgeous? Let's have a look inside. So it has an inner plastic lid which keeps the tea fresh by sealing it. It has no chips. That's a little bit of a droplet of water there for me just washing it. I reckon it's probably new vintage if it's got the plastic lid, maybe 1990s or something like that. Wow, beautiful hand-painted piece. There's a tiny black dot there. That could have just happened when they were painting it. I think it's very, very pretty. Now we have this guy sitting on a fish, and I believe he's Chinese. So he's got a bit of a split there at the bottom, but it's not so noticeable. And he needs a lot of oiling because look at him, he's quite dry. It says 800 yen, however, I also got this for half price at the same place as a ceramic tea caddy. Wondering if this is the Chinese god Kuei Jing, who is the god of exams. He's often portrayed standing on a fish. Thought this was a chip, but it's not. It's just carved like this. This could also depict the Chinese proverb, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach him how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime, which would make sense with the fishing rod, and he's got the gold coin as well. There would have been a piece of string attached to its mouth and at the other end attached to the fishing rod. Can you tell the difference here? But this is after oiling and leaving it for a few months. You can see the shine still there, though it might need one more oiling. The wood can get pretty dark after you put oil on it, so I like to see how it settles after a few months. You can barely notice that there's a small crack there now, and it's really helped define the scales of the fish and all the details, and he's looking very happy. Lastly, here are the postcards by the illustrator Toshi. This is of Nihonbashi Bridge. I love how he captures the light on the water. They're currently working on removing that highway by 2041. As I was recently in Nihonbashi and took some videos, here is what it looks like under the bridge. And there's some developments going on for this huge building to be built behind the bridge. This one should be completed in 2026. This is the path leading up to a shrine in Osaka called Ishikiri Tsurugiya Jinja. Mouthful. Again, I loved his usage of light. It's beautiful and it makes me want to visit this spot one day. Hope you enjoyed checking out this huge flea market in Makuhari with me. Thank you so much for watching and see you again soon. Bye!